senior leaders, Cousins, Newman, to get their hands on the footy and give some direction.
Well, they've only got 4 players with 100 games experience, Richmond. Delidio, Simmons, Newman and Cousins.
Andrew, you're under pressure, mate.
Would you put them all in the centre bounce now for the experience, or do you give the young blokes a go?
Look, I think you've got to give the young blokes a chance. This is going to be a tough year for Richmond, so you know they're not going to make the 8, so you give the young blokes opportunity.
Houlihan over to Anderson.
And I think that they then realise that the coach is showing some confidence in them, and young blokes need confidence.
And Thornton's kick finds Bauer and goes to Waits.
Is where Richmond are going to close them up, put some pressure on, one-on-one football.
Bauer short and sideways to Thornton, who's just knocking up getting possessions in the first quarter. It's for Anderson. And that's not bad for Richmond, Matthew.
They were fortunate their quarters, but that disposal should have been hit, and they're trailing in. They're just giving 5 metres on their opponent every time. They can't afford to do that.
No ruckman.
Yep. And the man going up was Simpson. Nahas somehow managed to evade a couple of tackles and gets bowled over by Simpson. Fed it out to Simmons. He's knocked over by Robinson, and now coming through the footy is Houlihan.
And Carlton could make something of this. O'Halpin, awkward half volley, had Murphy going past. They didn't make anything of it, but Houlihan kept coming and gives Murphy another go at it. Carrazzo, Cruiser, attacking football now from the Blues, and Yaron runs in and misses.
I think
He's kicked it. He's kicked the Blues 6th, and they lead by 28.
And that young man in picture, I think he could be a star for Carlton. Came across a year ago, unfit, only played half a dozen senior games, but Chris Yaron is all class, just needed to get the body right, and I think we'll see a different player this year.
And I'll ask Matthew Lloyd in a minute, because it looks like Troy Simmons is having all sorts of troubles trying to keep up with Cruiser, who's shaken him a couple of times up in the forward 50. Whistle, and it's a hold, and it's going Richmond's way. Matthew?
Yeah, oh, you're spot on. I could not believe the size of a man in his 4th year of football, or could even be his 3rd. He's just a ginormous man, and he's been dominant, just not only with his ruck taps, but working around the ground, even on this occasion, spoiling also.
Yeah, he closed down on Simmons there. Brought the ball to ground. He has another go at Cruiser as the 2 go at it. Oh, the boys are having a dip early in the season.
Simmons is frustrated because the kid's too quick for him.
He is. As Henderson comes in and flies the flag. Meantime, Jackson for the Tigers puts it inside 50. Looks for Morton against Bauer. And he tries to hack it out of midair. Can't do so. So she's on at the MCG. There's Simmons and Cruiser.
That's good from Simmons, I reckon. Rob may as well get in the young bloke's head. If he can't beat him on the run, may as well do that.
Well, he can't beat him at football. Michael beat him in wrestling.
Cruiser uncontested there. Rewald saw it coming. Scotland for Carlton. Here's Locke. He's a feisty customer. Came at him hard.
And that's what Tom Hislop's in the side for. He's kicked an early goal. He shanks every second kick or so, but his pressure is as good as any player in the Richmond side.
So Revolt with the rucking job here up forward. Leaves it to Cruiser, but this time it works for Carlton. Scotland and Walker and Carrazzo. Now Yaron, but he's under siege. Delidio did that well. Morton put it in the right spot. Carlton with the numbers. Comfortable in the end for Jordan Russell.
And peeling off here is Joseph. And takes the uncontested mark just inside defensive 50.
Joseph always gets a slippery small forward. Robin Nahas, his opponent tonight.
Now taken by Russell, who goes to the members' side. And Thornton again. Disposal number 7 and mark number 5. As the mark's now taken by Warnock.
Carrazzo's had 10 possessions early in the match.
Cousins and Jackson 5 apiece for the Tigers.
Rob, in the tap-outs, Richmond haven't had a ruckman in their forward 50 3 times in this first quarter.
Yeah, they've really let themselves down. They haven't been organised at all. The other thing you worry about, Matty, is players like Riewoldt and Morton being forced to do ruck work. They're not big enough, they're not strong enough. They just get monstered by the likes of Warnock.
Warnock back to Walker. Kicks to a contest. Big fist came from Vickery. Jackson couldn't trap it. Now the Tigers have got it. Here's Delidio. Back to Jackson, who pumps it long. Riewoldt in good posse here. It's being held. Doesn't matter. Suckers it off the ground for a goal.
Well, Brett Ratton said Carlton might be a bit more stop-start this year than last. Might just rein in the all-out attack. Well, they got themselves into trouble there on that wing. Warnock had the ball twice. Both times waited, played defensively, and in the end they muffed it.
They say you should never kick to a ruckman, Tim, and you look for runners to be coming past Cruiser there.
Smart goal by Riewoldt, but there's Delidio over to Jackson, and in my book, Richmond's two best players, and when they're in good form, things can happen for the Tigers. We saw them combined there on the wing. Well done.
So after an opening onslaught from Carlton, Richmond have got themselves into the game, and they win the ball here in the middle. Delidio gives it to Thompson, and back to Delidio, and the best and fairest of the last 2 years kicks the Tigers third.
Big fight in the middle, Tim.
Well, it's on now. It's game on, and it's box on.
Clear away. Clear away.
Margin back to 16 points.
Oh, it's a Fenwick and melee now.
Let it go. Let it go. Come on, get on with it. Let's go. Get out your position. Mitch, nothing more.
There's 4 minutes left in this quarter, and you love seeing now which team reacts better after a barney like that. And Brett Delidio is often maligned as a player, but he's won two best and fairest, and that was a great goal to get the Tigers back in this match.
The next 4 minutes, Matty, who will keep their eyes on the ball, because the heat is on. They're coming at you from all angles.
It's generally the more experienced side, so I expect it to be Carlton, but it's been a great 5 minutes for the Tigers.
Here's Tambling, gets to the football first. Desperate was Connors. Coming out with it was Carazzo. Murphy, the wild handball, was a good one in the end. It found Scotland. He gives it off to Simpson. Simpson back to Carazzo. The floater to Betts.
Well, what they're trying to do, it's obvious they're trying to hit targets as they go forward. They're not bombing the ball. This is the start of the fight about a minute or so ago.
It's Vickery holding a midfielder down. It's often a tactic in football, not letting the mids get up and run to the next contest.
And he brought him down strongly too, which I think might have just fired things up in the first place. Connors for the Tigers, really getting a sniff of the MCG air now. Morton let the ball go, needed better from him than that. Nahas there to help out. Morton again, and Nahas again, and the Tigers are building again. Riewoldt gets the better of Jamison, clean collect. Disciplined kick, gives Hislop half a chance. You need to be good. Well tackled by Russell. Morton knows how to kick a goal, and he might have done it. He has. Tigers are in the game. It's back to 10 points. They've kicked 4 of the last 5. And Damien Hardwick now knows the exhilaration.
He did, and I've seen him win 2 premierships as a player. Tommy Hislop, good tackle by Jordan Russell. He's been good early in the game. He's look Joey Anderson. He hasn't got his eyes on the ball, and his opponent here, Mitch Morton, he's more experienced, and you make good players make you pay. Joey Anderson's got to keep his eye on the ball next time.
And just back to the action in the centre. Here's Edwards coming in on the left, and
Titch Edwards, he's built some muscles over summer.
Not very subtle, was it?
And, well, we can have a look at that, and there's plenty of grappling and holding going on, but let's not forget Jack Riewoldt's effort to spin his opponent